Hi everyone, welcome back to my allotment where we have our Chronic Bee Paralysis Virus colony. You might recall that we carried out a shakeout a while back. That was about 10 or 12 days ago, so we're now back to do another inspection and to potentially carry out another shakeout. I'm going to have a look at how the bees are, see whether we've still got type 1 and type 2 symptoms, and if we have, then we'll carry out another shakeout. But for the video, we're just going to carry out the inspection and show you where they're at, and then we'll perhaps see if we can give them some feed going into the autumn to try and perk them up a little bit and hopefully help them survive into the autumn and winter. So let's go down to the bottom of the allotment and check out the bees and see what they're doing. Well, success number one, I remembered to put my glasses on today, so at least I'll be able to see what I'm doing. We still have a live colony. There's quite a patch of dead bees outside the front entrance again, but hopefully we can get inside and see maybe some improvement. Looking at the front entrance, the bees are going in with some pollen, but you can see on the top of the crown board here we've got a lot of dead bees, which is a real concern. I'm not exactly sure why they're up here dead, but we'll need to just remove those. So I'm going to take the supers off. We've given them extra space to try to allow them a chance to have more room and not be quite so close, because the chronic bee paralysis virus is one of those things that gets passed from bee to bee. So we tried to give them some extra space. It appears that we've got quite a few drones managed to get themselves trapped in the top. Okay, so we're into the brood box here, and let's have a look and see. So on the top immediately I can see that we have got some shaking bees, so that's type 1 syndrome. Here we've got, I don't know whether she's going to wander down into the space between two frames. So here we've got a type 2 syndrome, a hairless bee. Wings are held in a kind of dislocated fashion, and so we still have the virus. You can see that the bees are shaking with another hairless bee there. So it looks as if we'll need to do another shakeout. So we'll just go through and carry out an inspection, find the queen, get the queen into a queen cage, and then we'll carry out the shake as before. So a frame of emerging brood. I'm trying to gauge now the percentage of workers that I see with the type 2 syndrome. So that's the syndrome where they are black and hairless. It's the more visible of the syndromes, the signs and symptoms. So we have a patch of brood. Generally the bees are quite calm on the comb. So they're still here, they're still surviving. It would be nice if we could help them survive. I sent the sample off to the university, so Newcastle University sent me a test kit, and we sent that sample off. The samples are being tested by the National Bee Unit, so those bees were sent to the National Bee Unit in York. And I will put all the details in the description below the video again. If you have a similar problem and you want to get in touch with Professor Giles Budge at the university, then I'll put the details down. So not quite so many of the bees are showing the type 2 syndrome. We've got another one here, right on the in the middle of the frame. Another one here. You can see how its wing is dislocated. So this left wing is dislocated away from the thorax, compared to a bee such as this one, where the wings are held flat and back across the abdomen. Haven't seen the queen yet, but there's eggs and brood, so hopefully she's still okay. Something I am noticing is that there's not a great deal of food in the brood box. We've got quite a lot of eggs. I mean, they're laying. The queen's there's the queen, so she's laying quite well. But you can see there's absolutely no food stores here, so we'll need to be very careful when we take off the super that we give them some food to be able to survive. Right, so let's pop her into a queen cage. Straightforward process. I mean, she's a lovely looking queen, it's a real shame. And she seems to be fine. Her wings are in good order. Body generally looks really healthy. So we'll just pick her up, pop her into the queen cage, and we'll put a few workers in with her. The ones to grab are the ones that have got their heads buried in the cells. Makes it a bit easier to pick them up. So I'm just going to pop maybe 5 or 6 in with the queen. One more. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to pop her in my pocket so that she's away from any direct sunlight. And now we can carry out the shook procedure. So we're going to take them away to the bottom of the allotment again, or the front of the allotment, which is about 25 meters away from this position. And then we're going to shake out all the bees again. The bees that are heavily diseased won't be able to get back to the colony, so that will reduce the loading and hopefully will again give them a chance to improve the general health, and we'll pop in a new brood box and floor as well. So we've come back from having done the shakeout again, and you can see we've got very few bees left on the combs, and these are all the flying bees that have come back from having been shaken out or have actually been out foraging. So what we now need to do is to release the queen back into the colony. So she can now walk out and go down into the colony again, and she's safely back in there, and the bees will be happy to have her back, and we can close them up now, and hopefully they'll be okay. Unfortunately, we didn't have a clean brood box with us on the van, so we've had to put them back into the old one, which is not ideal, but we have obviously shaken out an awful lot of bees that have the viral infection, so hopefully that's going to help them out. So we've carried out the shakeout at the front of the allotment. Notice the lovely lavender behind us. We've got a whole heap of different types of bumblebees, honeybees, flies, a whole range of different insects on this lavender, and the allotments are just alive with pollinators, so it's been a really good year. The other thing to mention is that it's been an incredible year for wasps. We have got so many wasps around. I don't know what you guys are finding, but for us here in Norfolk, we seem to be wasp central. So do let me know if you're having lots of wasps where you are, but particularly if you're having problems with wasps. At the moment, they're not causing us any problem, but there are an awful lot of them around. So the queen's back in the colony, we've shaken them out. We're going to lose some of the nurse bees that haven't been out flying, but the important thing is that we've shaken out all of those diseased bees, and hopefully the vast majority of those won't be able to find their way back to the colony. Shame we didn't have a clean brood box, my fault, should have been more prepared for that. But hopefully it's going to have a positive effect on the loading of the virus in the colony. We'll keep you updated as we go forward with this colony. Hopefully we'll be taking off that honey. What I want to do is to give them a feed with some essential oils in it. And I think I've posted the recipe for that. I destroyed my blender, if you recall. If you want to have a look at a comedy moment, go back and check that one out. So we've got that mix to add to some sugar syrup, but I don't want to put that into the colony while we've got a full super. And they have created a full super of honey, so we'll take that off tomorrow, and then we're going to put a feeder straight on because they don't have, well, barely any food in the brood box, and it's important that if you're going to take the honey off, that you do replace it with some food for them. And I'm hoping that those essential oils in the sugar syrup will give them a little bit of a healthy boost. I've no science behind that, but it's just something that you hear an awful lot of, and I thought we ought to give it a try. So yeah, we'll keep you updated. Thanks for your support, and we'll catch up next time. Thanks for watching.